Hello everyone. I welcome you all to another episode of Know Your Alumni Season 3. Today we have with us Harnoor Bhatia ma'am. She has completed her B.Tech from NIFTEM in the year 2020 and is now working with KPMG Global Services. Hello ma'am, how are you doing?
Hi, all good. How about you?
Ma'am, I'm good too. So ma'am, please tell us about your journey at NIFTEM, what all happened and how it went.
So NIFTEM was great. I think it has been one of the best parts, the most exciting parts for me. Honestly, the first thing which I believe has been great is the hostel life, because I never experienced it before that, and I was actually very apprehensive before joining NIFTEM. So I did not know, how things work out. But I think NIFTEM has given me that kind of platform where, both the things happen simultaneously, learning, and also I think that kind of collectiveness that you feel when you are, in a hostel. We've enjoyed so many festivals together, so many fests together. And I think everybody, the faculty has been great. Everything at NIFTEM was amazing. I still remember those cafeteria moments. So for me, I think NIFTEM was a very, very wholesome journey, and I don't think that anything else that I've done in my life will ever be able to replace those moments that I've spent at NIFTEM.
Ma'am, during the college journey, got to know that you participated in a lot of things and worked with different societies. So your experience with CRD and the literary society in which you worked.
CRD, I think when I joined CRD, the major reason was that, I really wanted to know how placements work and what exactly goes behind it. So everybody in NIFTEM, whenever this placement season starts, there's a lot of anxiety. And at the same time, there's a lot of excitement that what is going to happen, which companies are going to come to campus. So I just wanted to join CRD to take that kind of experience, that how, you go about asking for, or, bringing those companies on campus. So also I think that was a great exposure in a lot of other ways, because I think we use a lot of these kind of skills, a lot of negotiating skills when we are working in organizations also, in any capacity whatsoever, not just in management, but I think in R&D also, in quality also, because eventually I think these skills are extremely important. So CRD for me was that kind of an exposure. I think I worked very closely with the other team members at CRD, and also with Aditya sir, who has been that pillar for CRD. And I learned a lot of skills there. We were talking to a lot of corporate people. I've met a lot of people who came on campus for placements, like everybody, the managers or probably the HR managers. And I think it was a great exposure for me to actually understand their perspective as well. And now when I am also within the same kind of an industry, I feel that that was a very, very important milestone, or probably the pillar. And also, I think when we talk about the Literary Society, for Literary Society, I was the secretary, eventually the secretary. And I think Literary Society at NIFTEM, it is not as, as well defined as other societies, for example, the Cultural Society, because I think Sarang is the main society. But any which way, I think I had a great, I had a lot of amazing people in the Literary Society, especially within the junior batch. And I still feel that those people, I still remember them for their contribution, because I don't think I would have done anything without them. I mean, they were the ones who actually brought in a lot of innovative ideas, and we used to execute that. So yeah, it was amazing working on in Literary Society as well. And it was great, because I could learn a lot more about communication skills, how you present yourself, your ideas. So it was amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, I would also like feeling the same because I am also working with Gitanjali. So that's great. So ma'am, you did an internship in Mondelez. So please tell us about your experience. What happened?
Mondelez, firstly, I believe is one of the best organizations that comes on the NIFTEM campus for internships and placements. And the way the culture is, the way they treat you is absolutely amazing. I think I learned a lot during that journey. When I got selected, I was extremely excited. I wanted to, that was the time when I really felt that, if I get a placement opportunity at Mondelez, that is going to be great, because when I went there, I experienced, the way the people treat you, the work. I mean, everything is very, very exciting. So Mondelez, I think they whenever the interview, when that happened, it was not just a technical interview. It was everything. It was a very holistic interview, starting from what you are, like what kind of person you are personally, to what, what your technical skills are, what your expertise is. So I felt, this is something, and obviously when a person goes through a very thorough interview process, they know that somehow this is the right organization to work at, because, it gives you a lot of exposure. It gives you what exactly to expect when you get into the organization. I got amazing mentors. The person, my manager, the person who was managing everything for me, I think I've never gotten a mentor like him. I am still in touch with him. He was always very, very supportive. Even when I decided to go for an MBA, I talked to him, and it was an amazing experience. But yes, I think when I was working there for 6 months, one thing that I realized was that I cannot, get into R&D and make chocolates my entire life. That was not something that I could relate to. The other two people who got into Mondelez at that time, Mansi and Somin, very dear friends of mine, I could see that, they have that kind of passion for research and development, which I probably didn't have at that time. And that's why I felt, I could not connect to it. But Mondelez as an organization is amazing. The way they treat you, the way they make you feel an important part of the organization, despite being interns, that's amazing. That's an experience for a lifetime.
After your B.Tech, you joined Vedica. So how was it, and what was your experience there?
So NIFTEM, it's like a completely, we have a specialization in food technology and management, very, very niche. When I joined NIFTEM, I felt that, I will definitely excel in it, because I have that passion for food also. I'm also a foodie. So I always felt that, this is something that I would want to do in the long run. And it had, few elements of management also. So I felt, this is the right thing to do. When I completed it, and I think what really helped me make that decision to shift towards MBA was that internship experience that I had with Mondelez, because I said that, I could not relate to R&D. At that time, I think the time when we finished our college, that was the pandemic time. And a lot of people had actually lost hope in CRD also, because there were not a lot of organizations coming in on campus for placements. And I don't think that, it was actually the problem with the organization or administration. They were trying their best. I was in CRD, so I know we were contacting people, we were reaching out, but things were not happening because organizations were not really ready to take in more people. And most of the organizations, I think 2-3 organizations are very prominent ones, whether it's Nestle had done their placement drive early in the session, when the session started. Mondelez was done because they take people just after internship. ITC was also done in the same way. So we did not have a lot of good organizations coming in on campus at that time. And there were just two things that we could do. One, you could be hopeless and just think what will happen and how it will happen. Or the other thing is you find a way out of it. There are a lot of people who actually decided to go for CAT. Some people are still studying. Some people joined MBA the next year. I did not want to give that break, 1.5 years. I'm not I'm not personally that kind of person who can, wait and then go for something. I need to do things simultaneously. So I was looking out for alternatives, and there are certain people within our alumni also who have pursued some fellowships. So I looked out for fellowships, and I got to know about Vedica. Vedica is not something which is like a proper fellowship or a proper MBA. It's something in between. So it has a very, very unique curriculum, which no other MBA, at least in our country, has, because it has this culmination of management, liberal arts, communication, personal development. And traditional MBAs, yes, they have that management thing, but not all these elements. And I think that is something which really drove me towards Vedica. They have like a wonderful shadow woman program where you get that 1.5 month exposure of working with that woman in all capacity, learning from her directly. So I think that was something that really, really pushed me to do that. And that's how Vedica happened.
Ma'am, can you limelight some of the points that how the course Vedica is offering is a bit different from what other MBA colleges in the country are offering, like the IIMs or the other B schools?
Yeah. So obviously, IIMs, they have built that kind of, trust in people, and that's why they are so popular. And people, love them. They think that, if they get into IIMs, their life is made. And I completely agree to that. There's no question about it. Vedika, on the other hand, I will not say it's better or not better. That's not a debate because it's very different. There's no actually, you cannot even compare both of them. Vedica as a program, as I said, it has 4 different tracks. One of that is management, which is like every other MBA that you have in our country. The other one is liberal arts, that is usually not taught in a lot of other MBA or business schools. And liberal arts is a very, very important subject or a very, very important track in a lot of institutes outside India. For example, if you talk about Harvard Business School, they have liberal arts along with the management track. Then the third one is personal growth. Personal growth, I believe, is very, very important for an individual because all of us comes from different background. Like I went in with an engineering background. I did not know what exactly MBA is and what management has, what tracks management has. Um, but I think when I went there with an open mind. There were a lot of things that I had to learn. There are a lot of things that you relearn when you are in an organization or probably in an institute. So a lot of unlearning and relearning that Vedika helped me to do. And obviously communication, I think it's the most important part whenever you go out in the corporate world. And I think all of these things are well catered to in Vedika. That is one thing. Secondly, it's an all women program. Honestly speaking, I was never somebody who wanted to go for an all women program because I felt that it's very important that you study in a setup, a co-ed setup, because it gives you that kind of exposure. But when I went into Vedika, I realized that not a lot of people are as fortunate as me. Not a lot of women get those opportunities. We talk about feminism, we talk about equality, but a lot of times what happens is that even if you are as qualified as a man, you will not be given that opportunity to get to the next level because you have homely responsibilities, whereas a man is considered to not have those responsibilities.
Right.
You when you have to you have to go for a finance position. There's this stereotype that a man will do it better in comparison to a woman because a woman is not good in numbers. So I felt that this is something which we still have, although things have improved, but there's a long way. And there's a lot of things that we as women can do for other women to bring them up. And that's why I feel Vedika was in a lot of ways the right decision. And as I mentioned, there's a very, very interesting shadow woman concept at Vedica. I believe that, they really give you that kind of exposure where they give you 2 mentors. One is a program mentor and one is a shadow mentor. You can connect with them all the time. Even when you have your placement session. I had a program mentor who, Mr. Biplab Banerjee, he was working with ABD, and I think whenever I had any problem, whenever I felt that I want to, I don't know how to crack interviews, I don't know how to solve this or that, I could always connect to him on weekends or on weekdays, and he would always be there. So I think Vedika and that ways I believe is a very, very different cause, and somebody who wants to go unconventional. We people are already unconventional because we are Niftemites, and B.Tech food technology is something which is very different. So anybody who wants to go unconventional, who has that thing of doing what they want to do a little differently, I think Vedika is the right choice for them, especially obviously with.
Tell us about your work experience with Coca-Cola and your present role at KPMG Global Services.
Okay. Coca-Cola, I think I have been very, very fortunate that I have gotten some best organizations to intern with. Whether it was Mondelez in NIFTEM or it was Coca-Cola in Vedica. As I said, it was Coca-Cola was a shadow a woman leader module for me. So usually everybody got one mentor. I was very fortunate that I got 6, and those 6 in all different diverse fields. One was working within HR, core HR, commercial HR. The other one was working with brand activation. The next one with coffee development. Then one of them working in L&D. So I think it was a very, very diverse experience. It was just for 1.5 months, and I still feel that it was a little less because I really, really enjoyed it and I wanted to work there even more. But I think I was aligned to different mentors in these 6 weeks, and I was learning, everything from the bottom to the top. I think the experience was not just for you to learn about work. It was also about to learn that person personally, that how they have been able to achieve so much in their life, what they look up to now, what do they expect from the future generation. I think that these are some things that I learned, and I don't feel, anywhere else I would have learned that. And Coca-Cola as an organization, I've always said that they are probably one of the most collaborative organizations. The way they'll integrate you, you will not feel that you are an intern and you don't have any power to say anything. I was working with the Greece and the Athens PU for Coca-Cola HBC, and these people, I think, whenever you need them, they will be there. I had a lot of projects, like small mini projects. I did 4 of them. One was completely on brand activation, something that I did not know at all, and I probably enjoyed it the most because I had to suggest them ideas of how to take their products online, because that was something that they were still struggling with due to COVID. So that was one. The other one was HR policies, how they've changed during COVID. So I think it was a very, very diversified experience. And for me, I think, again, as I said, it has been one of the most prominent experiences of my life, which I don't think I'll ever be able to forget.
So ma'am, what are your future plans in KPMG Global Services, and how is the organization and the work going on?
So KPMG, so what happened is, when I was in Vedica, I made, after completing my shadow internship with Coca-Cola, I was sure that I want to get into HR. And HR was something that I was really looking forward to, because I think basically the HR landscape has changed a lot, especially after the pandemic, with the onboarding practices changing, with the engagement changing, how you engage people when they are not even in front of you. A lot of things have changed, and I think I felt that HR at this time is probably the right decision to go forward with. Although a lot of people told me that HR at this point, you are not doing the right thing, because HR is not something which is going to grow, especially after the pandemic, because it's not just a very important function. But I felt that this is the right thing, and I was waiting for the right organization to go forward with. When KPMG came on campus, I was very sure that this is the organization that I would want to go for, because I have interacted with a lot of people within the organization, also outside the organization, and everybody told me the same thing, that HR practices are not very evolved in a lot of organizations, because they just treat it as another support function. But with KPMG, the team that I am working with, I work with very closely. There are also a lot of business decisions that are made in front of, in the presence of HR, and you learn a lot about business as well. Then I think there are a lot of problems, especially regarding attrition, performance, engagement going on. You learn a lot because you interact with a lot of leaders, and what exactly is happening. And I feel that, I made the right decision by getting into KPMG, because the learning opportunity, the career growth, the graph is great. And HR is something that I always wanted to get into, and I feel that I'm at the right place. Yeah.
Any special memory associated with NIFTEM that you would like to share with all of us?
There's so many. I can't pick out one, because we had so many. I think every day getting into the cafeteria, talking to so many people. I think we as a batch, we have spent, so I mean, everybody of you whosoever lives in that hostel knows that there's so many memories. Every day at night at 10:30, we used to be out and walking the whole campus, then sitting out in cafeteria for like 3-4 hours at a stretch, We played, games in the classrooms also. I think every memory is so special. I really can't pick out one. Uh, there's so much. I think also the kind of, we also, whenever we went out, like all of us friends, we went out. We went out and uh, like in huge numbers. And I still feel that we're really really wanting that convocation to happen because we really want to get together once again. But I can't pick out one. There's so many.
And the end message for your junior NIFTEMites.
Yeah, one message for me would be that just whatever you feel is right for you, whether it's for example, if you talk about me, I always did what I wanted to do. A lot of people told me that you did B.Tech, why don't you go for M.Tech and complete your technical education? And I felt that no, I want to get into management. A lot of people told me, why not a conventional MBA? Why going for a very different program like Vedica? Again, I did what I wanted to do. So whatever you feel is right for you, do that. Don't restrict yourself in boundaries. Don't think that if everybody else is going for an IIM, I also need to go for an IIM. If everybody is going for an MTech, I want to go for an MTech. So whatever you want to do that, and just don't feel that this is not the right thing, because ultimately if you are passionate about something, you will definitely do wonders in your life, in your career. So that's all that I would want to say. And enjoy yourself. NIFTEM is a one of a kind journey. You will never get this back. Enjoy, have lots of fun, and at the same time study when you have your placements over your head, but before that, enjoy. That's it.
It was great having you today. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much, Devesh. All the best to you.